All right, here's one of my favorite putting tips. It's something I've lately been rediscovering I need to keep reminding myself to do when my putt is feeling off. And it's something where when I'm forgetting about it and I happen to get a good feeling putt, I'm like, what did I do for that putt to feel so good? And I'm looking in all these different places, which are often not the actual source of what helped me get that clean putt. So it revolves around hinging at the waist like this. So without using my arm, if I put my fist kind of here and rest my arm on it so I'm not raising or lowering my arm, you can see that as I hinge at the waist, my arm is still, I'm not using my arm to move my arm, but my body is hinging and swinging my arm. And that's how you can get some power just from hinging. And once you get that power going and you add the arm power after it on top of it, it kind of amplifies and gives you some effortless pop. So this is, I feel it as separate from there's backwards and forward, body weight shift, and there's down and up body weight shift as well. And then there's this hinge, which is a down and up, but it all gets combined together. And so I like to try isolating these different things to feel them more clearly. So here's how I would do that, which is with this, putting your arm, your fist kind of near your armpit and resting your arm on it so you're not using your arm. And then trying to avoid doing this back and forward weight shifting and this from the knees up and down motion, and just isolate to this hip hinge, bending at the waist. People familiar with kettlebell swings will be kind of familiar with this motion a little bit. So isolating like that and trying to not raise your arm off of your fist here, and just use a little bit of wrist to get the a clean pop of the disc out of your hand, and try some putts close to the basket like that and a little bit further away, just exaggerating this hip hinge motion. And you can feel that there's plenty of power there before you even added these other things in. And I think there's some pros who are good examples of this, and some of them, it's like they have sneaky power, it looks like, where some people you don't see them doing a lot of back and forward weight rocking or a lot of down and up explosiveness from the legs, but they're still getting lots of power. And if you look closely, you can see that they're doing some of this, and I think that's where some of the power comes from. So I'll put some examples in here. Gannon is somebody who comes to mind. Of course, he also gets power from reaching kind of across the body to the side, and from being so tall, having long limbs, but still I think he's a good example of this.
Cannon nuts. Pretty wide open look.
So I like these putts from the knee as an example because it's naturally isolating the movement, and so we can see he's not extending from the knees to stand taller, but there's still a significant change in the height from the backswing to the release that we can more clearly see is coming from hinging at the waist.
Look at his stance. Oh, bogeying this hole so easy.
Only this roll away, but it gave him this like weird little.
Also, I'll link in the description some shorts I've been doing with putting tips, where I focused on other aspects of power from the lower body that I briefly mentioned here. So the forward and backwards weight shift motion, and the down and up weight shift motion exploding off of the back leg. So when you combine it all together, that's where you can end up getting a lot of power. So for example, I don't really jump putt until like beyond 60 feet, let's say, because I feel like I have enough power, inside of that from all of this to not need it. All right, so I've measured out edge of circle here, and I'm going to focus now adding some arm power, but trying to limit the rest of my body to focusing on this hinging at the waist for the rest of the power, just to kind of show what it looks like. Of course, since my upper body is kind of swinging like this, it's going to create some natural, back and forward weight rocking as well, but I'm trying to mostly isolate here. All right, I've measured out 70 feet. I'm gonna try to make one without jumping or stepping. I'm gonna use the whole body now, but I'm gonna really focus on feeling this hinging at the waist, slinging my arm to help give me the power. Oh, I accidentally stepped a little bit. Did I step past the lie though? The lie is right here. I have this I just marked the dirt. Oh, barely, almost hit the basket. Let's see, let's try some kind of Annie ones. Whoops, that was not enough Annie, clearly. And we got a lot of tailwind now. Go. Ooh. A lot. Go in. All right.